the language for the suspension is pretty clear. The conditions are that there is a threshold of $80 for an average of 3 months before the next suspension. And if we take a look at the language in the second paragraph of the relevant portion of the law, it actually says that this suspension can be done for the next tranche, but suspending the current excise, which was implemented in January of this year, or starting January of this year, will not be suspended or reduced. Which, and I don't have the actual text of the law in front of me, I'm sorry, but that is my best understanding of the language that is in the law. So while the next tranche can be suspended given the mechanism that is in the law, there is no provision that allows for the rollback of what was implemented starting January 2018. That would need congressional action.
From the point of view of managing expectations, I think, as you mentioned yesterday, but I'd like to give you the chance to expound on this some more. Perhaps it's better for the public to manage their expectations with the proposed suspension of next year's excise tax increase. This will not have a major effect on inflation as we know it right now.
There are other factors that we might consider. For instance, the signal that the decision to suspend sends to the market is also something that we believe is a positive one. It anchors inflation expectations. And as we know, inflation is partly the actual prices going up and the numbers, but what's driving those prices sometimes can also be driven by behavior that is a result of certain expectations. Now, for example, at the household level, if we believe that prices in the market, the supermarket or the wet market will be going up for non-perishable goods, the tendency is to buy more. And, so it leads to upward pressure on prices because everybody is trying to buy more of what there's enough of anyway. But there is that mechanism that comes into play. So we hope also, and we are confident that this type of early announcement of the suspension will also anchor inflation expectations.
Every time we're talking about suspending an excise tax, we're talking about foregoing revenue, which will be in the tens of billions. How will the consumers feel that? I imagine infrastructure is going to be a priority. It's still going to be a priority. It's still going to be build next year, not just on impetus of the president, but also by the fact that it's an election year. People are going to have to be spending on infrastructure. So if not there, where will consumers be feeling the pinch?
Yeah, Robbie, thank you for the question. The priority for infrastructure has not changed. No? That is certainly something that we will keep on doing, keep on investing in, because it's also a place that the country has been lacking in for many decades. Catching up with our target expenditure on infrastructure has only been done recently, and we intend to keep investing in infrastructure. But yesterday, the economic managers announced that they will be setting up a task force to prioritize expenditures and identify areas to cut or to postpone. And as you alluded to earlier, it's 40 to 41 billion pesos in terms of the revenue impact. But the things that could be considered, of course, this is up for the task force to finally decide on. But we're looking at, for instance, purchase of replacement vehicles, not hiring for unfilled positions, canceling low-priority foreign travel, among others. So those were the indicators that were provided yesterday by our economic managers.